In the beginning of Parsha Shmos, Shmos ben Esau bar Mitzrayim, so there's a famous Rosh Tevis in the beginning of Parsha Shmos, and Rosh Tevis that's known in the world is V'chayiv Adam Ve'ela Shmos. V'chayiv Adam V'hashtem HaParshiyos Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. That's where the world knows the Rosh Tevis in the beginning of Parsha Shmos. The Balaturim has a much longer Rosh Tevis, and he has Ve'ela Shmos B'nei Yisrael. I read to you Rosh Tevis. So the Rosh Tevis V'Adam Ashalayim HaSedra Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim V'Kol Na'im V'Yashir Yichya Shanim Rabbis Aruchim Lo'elam. That's how the Balaturim puts it down. So he shows the Chiv, and he also throws in a bracha. The Rabbi is going to do it. Is Yichya Shanim Rabbis Aruchim Lo'elam. So I'd like to speak a little bit about the Inyan of Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. Now before we start, it's brought down in Gemara, Achiyah Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. The question is, where did it start from? Who was Misakin that we have to be Masna Parsha and Matzibur? Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. We're in the Chumash twice, and the Targum once. Where did it start from? So the word that brings out from Amanda Omar, the Gemara says, Omar Apuna by Yehuda, Omar Ami, L'olam Yashlam Odem Parshiyos v'Matzibur, Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. That's all it says. Some of the Achronim want to say, it goes as far back as to Moshe Rabbeinu. So Moshe Rabbeinu is the one who is Mesakin, the person has a chiv to Mashlam Parshiyos v'Matzibur, Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim.
Where's the Targum from?
Targum is Messinai. See, so Targum is Messinai. So, whichever way it is, it's definitely a chiv. It's definitely brought out of Shulchan Aruch as a chiv that a person has to do. It's not different than any other mitzvah midrabanan that a person has to do. So Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim is something that everybody should do, and that's a good time to start. Shmos, Ve'ela Shmos B'nei Yisrael, even though it's the middle, you don't have to go catching up on braces if you're not going to doing it, but definitely it's good to do it every week, Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. And we'll see soon that, when the Balkara is laning, and you lay with the Balkara, that can be considered one time of the Mikra. Sometimes it's a good idea to keep people from schmoozing during laning, that the person should get used to going through the Parsha together with the Balkara, so he won't schmooze during laning. And also fulfill at least the one time of the Shnayim Mikra Ve'echatagim. But the Gemara says something very interesting. The Gemara says that he's mechuyev l'hashlam parshas v'matzibur v'afilu ataras v'divayin. Even the words ataras v'divayin. Says Rashi, what does it mean afilu ataras v'divayin? She'ein boi targum. Ataras v'divayin has no targum. It's names. It's names of cities, and they have no targum. Tosfos doesn't like it. Tosfos says, Rashi Pirish, Afilu Ataras v'divayin she'ein boi targum v'tzarech l'kreisei shloisha pa'amim be'ivri. Since there is no targum, so you have to say Ataras v'divayin. They got to say it twice the pasuk, and the third time also same way it says in the pasuk because there's no targum. So you have to say Ataras v'divayin, and the third time it's in this week's Parsha. It's Ruben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, right? The targum is the same as the pasuk. Still, you have to say it three times. Ruben, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda, say it three times, twice for the Chumash and once for the targum. That's what Rashi says.
What do you mean by targum?
Targum Unkelos. Yeah.
Nobody these days understands Aramaic.
That's what we're going to speak about today. That's what we're going to speak about today. Says Tosfos has a kasha and Rashi. What do you mean? Ataras v'divayin. They have a targum Yerushalmi. At least they have a targum Yerushalmi. Says Tosfos, it should have said Ruven v'Shimon. Or pasuk that has no targum Yerushalmi. Says Tosfos v'Yashloim v'Shemot not Ataras v'divayin. Afagav she'ein boi targum yidua targum Yerushalmi. You have to do it with the targum Yerushalmi. The third time has to be the targum Yerushalmi. So you have it machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. What does it mean Ataras v'divayin? Rashi said Ataras v'divayin is any name. Any name you have to say 3 times Lashon Ivri. A Torah V'Divayin is a regular name. Taisa says no. The chiddush of a Torah V'Divayin is that when you're laning, when you're doing the Shnai Mikra, you should do the Targum Yerushalmi, which does have a pirish on a Torah V'Divayin. Because when you do the Targum Onkelos, it just says a Torah V'Divayin. That's interesting to note. A Torah V'Divayin is in Parshas Masai. Parshas Masai, I mean. By Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain. And if you look in the Targum Onkelos by Torah V'Divayin, so it says, "Ve'voyu Bnei Gad Bnei Ruvain Yem Moshe Elazar Akayim Asayid Lemet Ataris V'Divayin V'Yazer V'Nimra V'Cheshbon V'Eloi V'Svam V'Nevoyu V'Oyin." These lands we want. It says the Targum Onkelos. It doesn't say Torah V'Divayin. Targum Onkelos says Machlelta U'Malbeshta. So it doesn't say the names are Torah V'Divayin. That's over here. At the end of the Parsha, when it quotes again at Torah V'Divayin, the Targum Onkelos says there it does say Torah V'Divayin. It doesn't say Machlelta Malbeshta. So Targum Onkelos, for some reason, on Torah V'Divayin itself, one place it touches it, a different word, and one place it keeps it the regular word of Torah V'Divayin.
What's the touch that you were showing?
I'm not sure. Machlelta Malbeshta, I'm not sure what it means even. So we have here Machlokes, Rashi and Tosfos. Rashi holds Ruvain Shimon. This week's Parsha, Ma'av Sedra, Ruvain Shimon, Levi Yehuda. Let's say it twice. According to Rashi, let's say it a third time. Once for Onkelos. According to Tosfos, no. Any name that has no other Targum, it's just a regular name, you don't say it 3 times. Twice is enough. If there's a Targum Yerushalmi, then you have to go ahead and say the Targum Yerushalmi. What's the Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos? So the Achronim say, the Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos is how do we understand Shnai and Mikra Ve'echa Targum? What's the Ve'echa Targum? Why are we saying the Ve'echa Targum? Is it because you have to understand what you're saying? So you say the pasuk twice, you have to know what you're saying, you look in the Targum, and it explains what you're saying. Is that the reason why we're saying Targum? To understand what we're saying? Or no? We're saying Targum because Targum was given Sinai. Targum Onkelos was given Sinai. It's called Targum Onkelos because it was Nishkach, the Chazer, the Yaslev, he brought it back, so it's called Shemot. It's in one of Megillah.
Don't some people say you say Rashi instead of...
Oh, so I'll get to that. So is the reason why we say Targum Onkelos to understand the Chumash that we're saying? Or the reason why we say Targum Onkelos is because that also is given Sinai, and the same way we say the Chumash twice, we also have to go ahead and say the Onkelos, which was given Sinai. So Rashi obviously learned that you say 2 times the pasuk, and a third time, even though it's a name, Ruvain Shimon, there's no Targum, so you have to say a third time for Targum. Rashi obviously is learning that it's not a Pirush. I don't have to say a Targum because I have to know what I'm saying. You have to say a Targum Midin. Targum was given Sinai. According to Tosfos, it says if there's no Targum on it, on Ruvain and Shimon, you have to go look for the Yerushalmi. Obviously, Tosfos held the reason why you have to go find Targum Yerushalmi is because it's explaining to you more than you see in the Chumash. So you have a Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos if Targum Onkelos is to understand what we're saying, or if Targum Onkelos just because it was given Sinai, you have to say it 3 times. Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. So there'll be a few nafkaminas between Rashi and Tosfos. And one is that you asked before. We're saying Targum Onkelos, we have no idea what we're saying. We have to look in the Chumash to understand what Onkelos means. You look at Targum Onkelos, if you don't know what it means, look in the Chumash. Oh, now I understand what he's saying. So Targum Onkelos we're not saying because we understand it. According to Tosfos, maybe you're talking about Yetzer. Maybe you're talking about Yetzer. You say Shnai Mikra Ve'echa Targum. You can say Targum Onkelos, doesn't help you. because it's not helping you understand the meaning of the psukim. According to Rashi, that the whole thing of Targum Unclus is because it was given me Sinai, and therefore we have to say Targum Unclus. The same way you have to say the pasuk, you have to say Targum Unclus. So according to Rashi, even they have no idea what you're saying, you have to say Targum Unclus. Just like the psukim. If someone doesn't understand the psukim, is it Yaitse the Shnai Mikra? He has no idea what he's saying. He's just reading the psukim like Tehillim. Is it Yaitse?
Yes.
So Shnai Mikra Yaitse. The Shnai Mikra Yaitse. The Echad Targum, here you have Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos. Like Rashi, you read the Targum, you have no idea what you're saying, you Yaitse the Targum. According to Tosfos, you read the Unclus, you have no idea what you're saying, you weren't Yaitse the third thing. You weren't Yaitse the Pirush that you have to have. Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos.
You'll have an idea of what you're saying because most of the words in Targum you do understand.
Because you know the Chumash.
Right.
It's not helping you understand the Chumash.
No, but you think you don't know the meaning of the words in Targum, but you would.
Yeah, but it's not helping you understand the Chumash.
The whole point is helping.
It's not helping you. You may understand the Targum, but if the third thing is to help you understand the Chumash, you're not gaining anything. Because it's not helping you understand the Chumash. It's very rare to find that sometimes you don't know a word in Chumash, and you look it up in Targum, and Targum is going to help you out. Sometimes it happens, but usually it doesn't happen. Usually it's just the opposite. So here's a big machlokes. What you should do. Like Rashi, the Shnai Mikra Targum, you finish, you Yaitse. You have no idea what you're saying, you Yaitse anyway. But according to Tosfos, you have to have a third thing that's helping you understand the Chumash. If you don't have that third thing, art scroll. Yeah? Let's speak about it. Yeah. Let's speak about it. It's not a joke.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah, let's speak about it. Because you use.
Why not the Rashi? The Rashi will explain it.
Yeah, so you do Rashi. So Rashi doesn't say Shul Chumash of Rashi. Rashi doesn't say that. Who's the first person in the Chumash of Rashi? Huh? No.
What was the question?
Who's the first person to the Chumash of Rashi?
It's Father.
It's Rabbi.
It's Father. Father.
Rabbi, right? Rashi doesn't say anyway in the Chumash of Rashi. But Tosfos, the Chayim died from Tosfos.
He didn't have a great memory.
He's a great one.
He didn't have a great one, Rabbi.
Yeah.
Then he skipped.
So, but Tosfos is Rashi, you have to understand what he's saying. The Targum is to help you understand what he's saying. Therefore, if you look in Halacha, there's a machlokes here if you should just say Shnai Mikra Targum, you answer with that, or no, you should learn Rashi to help you understand the Chumash. Just to be the Targum, not know what you're saying, you're not Yaitse. In Muhammad HaParsha, the Pirush Rashi says, Choshev K'moi Targum, it's just like Targum. The Yir Shemayim Ikra Targum Mikram Pirush Rashi. A Yir Shemayim should do both. Targum and Pirush Rashi. And the reason for this is, says the Mishabur, is because Pirush Rashi should mafarish the Mikra, should mafarish the Targum. The Yisrael men, even more than that. Our Kara B'Shar Laz should mafarish Rakas and Milas L'chud LaYotzi Dechavosed B'Makom Targum. If he shall Targum mafarish Kamid Dvorim She'ein L'Hevim B'Tech HaMikra. It's not like this. If someone's going to read Chumash twice, and then a translation, just read the English, read the Art Scroll, says the Mishabur, you're not Yaitse. You're better off reading Targum, but he says because the Targum also throws in a lot of times, a few extra words that explains the pasuk more. For those of Mama said, the Targum throws in a lot more to explain the pasuk than just the pasuk itself. We don't know what he's talking about, most of the psukim over there, because we don't understand it.
But Rashi will explain that sometimes.
Rashi explains.
Rashi will explain that.
Right.
Hey,
so Rashi explains
like I said, but
right. Targum Unclus. Yeah, Rashi a lot of times explains Targum Unclus. So he says if you want to use a different language to understand the Chumash, and you're just reading word for word of the Taish, of the Chumash, it's not good enough. You have to have an explanation, someone who adds some more explanation to the psukim besides just the literal translation. So if you can just read Shnai Mikra and then just the Targum, just the Art Scroll, you may not be Yaitse.
But the Art Scroll, if you read the bottom, that's a low side.
Read the bottom of the Art Scroll also, yeah. Right. Then Yaitse. But that you be Yaitse.
What if I read the English instead of Shnaim, one of the
Shnaim? No. Shnaim Mikra you have to have. Shnaim Mikra you have to have. Besides that, you have to have a targum or an explanation. But you can't use that for the Shnaim Mikra.
Just in English.
No. The Shnaim Mikra has to be a Lashon HaKodesh. I'll give you another thing, another difference. The Shnaim Mikra, you have to say the words. You can't just look at the words. You just speak it out. It's like a daven, yeah, you have to speak it out. The Targum, according to Rashi, who Rashi holds that the Targum, you don't have to understand what you're saying. It's just like the Mikra. Also, you have to speak it out, to say it out. If you're doing it, the third thing as a period, like Tesis, which is Rashi, or let's call it Art Scroll today, then you don't have to speak it out. You have to say it out. As long as you're reading it, and it's adding to you to understand what's going on, the Yetzer also. But to go ahead and say just to Rashi or Art Scroll, not to Uklis, that means you're picking one of the ways. Says the Mechaber, about Nefesh, here Shemayim should do both. Should do the Targum, and he should do Pirish Rashi. Now if someone can't do both, it's hard. Doesn't have that much time. If you want to just do the Pirish Rashi, fine. Just do the Art Scroll, fine. But make sure you do Shnaim Mikra. Shnaim Mikra has to be done.
There's also a sequence how to do it.
We get to that.
You can't.
We get to that. We get to the Targum. Was included in that.
No, you just can't do Targum first and then Shnaim Mikra afterwards.
Yeah, you have to first do the Mikra and then the Targum afterwards. Understand?
You have to do Pasuk
so that we'll see. We'll see if you have to Pasuk or no. Not word for word, but shorter.
Two words. No.
Either Pasuk, or Parsha. We'll get to it in a second.
Okay.
And that's the main thing you have to understand. Targum, you're gaining Rashi's Pirish. Meaning, after the explanation, what it means, Targum. That the Targum is just like the Chumash, even though they have no idea what you're saying in Yotze. But, if you're not doing the Targum, you're doing Rashi or Art Scroll, then you have to understand what you're saying when you're reading it. I find that I read the Art Scroll translation of the Chumash, I don't have the words. For me, it's harder than Targum. He uses all these fancy words a lot of times. So if you don't know what the words mean, then it's not going to help you. You have to understand Art Scroll's English in order to be it. So that's one big enough for me to Rashi and Taisis. 2 or 3 big enough for me to Rashi and Taisis. So that's the understanding of the keeping Zan over here. Like they had the Tzena Rena in those days. I don't know if they still have it today. But people know what it is even. Something called Tzena Rena that was it not have it in English?
No, it's in Yiddish.
Yiddish.
Yiddish, yeah.
It was in Yiddish. It was the explanation of the Sukkah.
Yeah, we have it.
The women used to do it.
Yeah, the women used to do that.
Right. So if a man wants to just read Tzena Rena without doing the Chumash twice, it's not good enough. The Chumash has to be said twice.
But Tzena Rena is good enough as the title?
Yeah, equal Tzena Rena is good enough, it says. Misha ain't about hockey, she yavan Pirish Rashi. Someone who's not about hockey. Rashi is hard to understand sometimes. Royal Likrois, the Pirish HaTorah, sheyesh b'Lashon Ashkenaz. You could use any of the Pirish HaTorah Ashkenaz, which was in German in those days. There's no need. You can join, say if it's Tzena Rena. Chayetze boy. And if the Mishmur bring out, they would say if you go an Art Scroll. Rabbi would say the same thing. It has to be a reliable translation. It can't be a translation made up. Unfortunately, over the years, there were translations of Chumash that were made by Apikosim. They were made by people who that you shouldn't look at. You're not even burning. You don't have to feel like looking at it. You know what was interesting last week? There was the mitzvah was at my house last Motzei Shabbos, and he was saying that it's interesting. You find that the translations of Chumash that were made by Apikosim, people who weren't accepted, they're not around anymore.
The Bible.
They're not around anymore.
Bible.
Where in the Bible?
The James or whatever.
That's Christian.
Yeah, but it's changed. No, it's not translation. That's not translation to the Chumash. It changed the Chumash. Right.
The Old Testament.
The Old Testament, but it's not translation of the Chumash. It's a new Chumash.
Like Mendelssohn.
So his example is Mendelssohn. There's a famous Chumash where Mendelssohn translated the Chumash. You can't find a copy of that today. You know, you see, it's not in print anymore. Remember, there were certain Mishnayos. There were certain Mishnayos that was translated by a person who was a question if it's a Shem Shabbos or not. When I was a kid, it was a Yiddish translation of Shrines. You can't find it anymore. It's not around. I think I may have one value in my house. Anything that was translated by someone who's not reliable doesn't last long.
No one makes copies of it.
Well, yeah, but you think people would want to use it. So we have to make sure it's a reliable translation, yeah, and then you can use it. And also, as I said before, it has to be adding on to the words of the Chumash, not just literal translation. It has to be an explanation. Right, so that's a Shnai Mikra V'Chatavim. So now there's 2 or 3 more lachas we have to know. One is Mishmur brings down how you do it. Pasuk by pasuk, how exactly do you do Shnai Mikra V'Chatavim? So it says like this: So in Yakri Yeshteis B'Zeh Ben Achreinim Yeshemim Shikra Kol Pasuk Beis Ta'amim V'Targim Olav. Read the pasuk twice, and then the targum right away from that pasuk. Yeshemim Shikra Kol Parsha Beis Ta'amim. Every parsha, Chutzah Ustuma. We know the Samach, and there's Pez in the Chumash. The Samach and Pez means a Pez means a parsha Psucha. The Samach means a parsha Stuma. Depends how much space you leave in between in the Torah. A Stuma, you leave a certain amount of letters and you can start on the same line. The Psucha, you have to start on the next line. Start the next parsha on the next line. So, in the Machlok is how you do it. Do you do it each pasuk twice and then targum olav, or do you do each parsha twice and then the targum on that parsha?
So what does it mean, Parsha? What do you mean by
Parsha means every samach and pei.
Or whatever it is, a samach or a pei.
Samach and a pei.
Each parak. That's right.
No.
Nobody says to do the whole parsha. Nobody says do the whole parsha.
No one says read through the whole parsha twice and then the whole targum twice. No one says that.
That's not good. If you do it that way, you're not
Parak is no good.
Chas v'shalom. Parrot?
A parak.
Chas v'shalom. Parrot? You know who made the problem with the Chumash?
Well, okay.
So why do we have them?
A parrot in Chumash means nothing.
Why do we have them?
If you look at the Chafetz Chaim's Sforim, he never quotes a parrot in Chumash. Never quotes a parrot in Chumash. The problem was made by the Goy.
Sorry, I'm late, but maybe you answered it. But I was told that the laning counts as a mikvah.
Yes, they say if you lane with the Bakar, listening to the Bakar doesn't help.
What is laning with Bakar mean?
You say word for word. You have to say it.
But if you're saying it, we're not hearing it.
You can hear it. You could.
Not through the problem. That's just what
Yeah.
Are we outside by if we listen to the Balkore carefully, doesn't the principle of Shemot Kaona?
No, it doesn't work over here. Shemot Kaona, you have to learn it yourself. Shemot Kaona, you have to say bracha or something. When you're learning, there's no Shemot Kaona. You can learn the whole day.
From that point of view, Shemot Kaona works with you. You don't say with hearing Kriyas Torah.
Yeah,
right.
Because the Torah Yetzer.
Right.
Yeah, that's what some people say.
Yes, it's different.
Right, so the question is about Torah himself, Yetzer Shnai Mikvah Chatagim, when he's leaning. Because he has a chiyuv. He's leaning out a chiyuv of Kriya B'tzibur. You can't fulfill your Shnai Mikvah when you're leaning a chiyuv B'tzibur. Shnai Mikvah is its own chiyuv. You have to say Shnai Mikvah. So if someone is listening to Bakara and saying Pasuk to Bakara, he's laying with the Bakara, then it could be Yetzer. What are you saying?
But he's not doing it the right way. You just said. You said you have to do it like from the
ideally
from.
Yeah. That's right. We'll get to that.
Not doing that.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
If you leave one of them to like
yes, right. We'll get to that in a second.
Is it because it's a seaboard thing, not a yachid thing, and that's why maybe you can't do Shemot Kaona. Is it because laning is more a chiv on the seaboard?
No, you can't Shemot Kaona because you have a chiv yourself to learn. It's a bit of a gufa, that's called. Shemot Kaona.
But because laning is really a chiv on the seaboard more than anything else.
Yeah, but even if it's not, you listen to him, and you've been yetzer with his. Yeah, so yeah, right. No, the saying is right. If the Bakar himself can't be yetzer, it's not Mikvah Chatagim, you can't be better than Bakar. You can't be better than him. Yes, anybody can't be yetzer Shemot Kaona. So it can't be. You can't be yetzer to Bakar. No, but you're saying yourself.
That's why you have to say yourself.
It says Yochel Likus a Parsha Shnai Mikvah Chatagim Shas Kriyas HaTorah, Shas Kriyas HaTorah. But it says over here. It's not a problem. He says it's not, even though you're having a mind to be yetzer the Kriyas HaTorah when you're hearing it, still You can be able to Shnai Mikra when you're saying it to yourself also. You can be able to both. You can be able to hearing it from the shots, and you can be able to Shnai Mikra when you're saying it. When you're saying it with the shots, you're not doing it pasuk by pasuk. Shnai Mikra by Chatak, and some people say it's okay. Some kind of want to say, if you do once Mikra and once Targum by yourself, and then leave one Mikra with shots Kriyas HaTorah, it's okay. As long as one Mikra and one Targum go together. So
if you don't have time to do the whole Mikra and Targum in one shot, you're saying the ideal is pasuk by pasuk?
Yes, that's what Machlokes said. It's the best thing pasuk, even if you do it at one time. You sit down and you do the whole thing. How do you do it? Pasuk by pasuk? Or do you do the whole Parsha, Samach and Peis, and stop? That's what you're supposed to do. So, right? Yes, every Yikra, Kol Parsha, Beis Pa'om Ba'achach HaTargum, you should badafka read the whole Parsha, meaning every Samach and Pei, and then the Targum. And some say, no, you should do one pasuk at a time, pasuk, Targum, pasuk, Targum. So they bring both of them. Ma'aseh Rav, Isha Gro Noah Gleimer, HaTargum Achar Kol Parsha, Sucha Istumah. The Gro used to lane, used to go Shnai Mikra, Tol, a Pei, or a Samach, and then do the Targum. He didn't do it pasuk by pasuk. Two ways of doing it, either pasuk by pasuk, or Tol, a Samach, and a Pei, and then say the Targum afterwards. And it says the Gra would do it Tol, a Samach, and a Pei. Well, the Ovid Kamar Ovid is Ovid Kamar Ovid. Therefore, you do it, it's fine. Therefore, it's easier for you, you do it. Most people find it easier to do pasuk by pasuk because then you know a little bit of the other Targum. Some people find it's easier if you're moving quickly to go back and forth. It's very hard. So they find it easier to read up quickly, Samach and a Pei, and then do the Targum.
But if you read with the Baruch, he's not stopping it.
Right. So doing with the Baruch, you have to do any of them. Still, a lot of them hold that you could still be Yetzer one Mikra or Targum, you have to do it this way.
The Mishnah doesn't address that, or the Brit Halacha.
He doesn't address that. He doesn't address it, no. It's interesting, the Shemot Levi from Vosler brings down, he says like this, I once heard from Eidus Ne'amana, someone was together with the Chafetz Chaim. This is he heard from a witness who was together with the Chafetz Chaim who wrote the Mishnah Berurah. One of the cities of Poland, the Chafetz Chaim was still going around. The Chafetz Chaim used to travel around about selling the Svarim. Pasuk, every pasuk, and then I call pasuk Targum Pirush Rashi. We do the pasuk, Shnai Mikra, Targum, Rashi, and then move on. So we didn't do like the Ma'aseh Rav. The Gra says he did it Tol Samach and Tol Pei. He says he has an Eid Ne'amana. Saw the Chafetz Chaim being Ma'aser, and he did it pasuk by pasuk. But still, the Chafetz Chaim pasuk is the Ovid Kamara with the Ovid Kamara. So it's every way you want to do it, you can do it. Either pasuk by pasuk, or Tol Samach and Tol Pei.
I thought I once read that as a preference. You should do it pasuk by pasuk.
All right.
The truth of the matter is, it's more. When you do pasuk by pasuk, there's more meaning to it.
Correct.
And you go the other way. If you
I agree. I find that you do pasuk by pasuk.
You think about it.
If you're just reading it, like David and Ashrei.
It's also faster. The other way is much faster.
Which other way?
If you do the whole section.
Of course, it's much faster. You don't have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you fall asleep in the middle. Because reading Targum straight, there's no idea what's going on.
You're amazing how fast you do it.
It takes more time to do it because you're getting way more out of it.
Yeah.
You're actually really understanding it.
Yeah, it definitely works better pasuk by pasuk. But it says the Ovid Kamara with Ovid Kamara. You can do whichever way you want. Either way you do it, it's fine. So you can't say you can't say preferably it's better to pasuk by pasuk. I don't think you can say that.
The deadline is to do it.
Forget that. By when you have to do it.
Also when you start.
So that's the second halacha. The third halacha is when you have to finish. So it says from Sunday you can start already. From Sunday, and they bring that thing from Shabbos after Mincha. Shabbos after Mincha, once you start the next Parsha already, it's already, you could start learning a Tzibur. He says like it's considered already in that Tzibur. But that is when you have to finish a boy. So mitzvah and amufche sheyashlev oisa Kodim sheyechal b'Shabbos. Mitzvah v'amofche, you should do it. You should finish it before you eat the Suda Shabbos morning. So before the Suda Shabbos morning, let's say Friday night. Kodim sheyechal b'Shabbos, it means Shabbos by day. So it says, "Ahashkim b'Shabbos b'Boker, v'likra shlam mikra b'Chatagim kodem al-chos l'Beis HaKnesses." Do it before you go to shul. I used to have somebody.
Because you do it in shul at one time, so how's that going to work?
You leave it one time for shul.
One time for shul.
Leave one time for shul. Do it once.
The rest.
Once in the morning.
Oh, so you can do mikra, targum, mikra.
Right.
I didn't know that.
That's what come out. You do.
Yeah.
If you hold, you can do with the shleich tzibur. It must mean what you're doing is targum. You're doing mikra, targum, and then you do mikra another time with the shot.
You hold like that?
Yes, you could do that.
So you can't do it aliyah by aliyah. That's not seven.
So that's the question. Aliyah by aliyah, if you could do it. And the question is what the aliyahs are. The question is what are the aliyahs? Who made up the aliyahs? The aliyahs that we have today were made up, and there's no. They say the Goyim didn't stop at our aliyahs. The Goyim never stopped at our aliyahs. He had his own aliyahs.
Even during Kriyas Torah, even to call out,
even our Kriyas Torah that we have today, Shem Shlish Revi, the guy had a whole different Shem Shlish Revi. He has his own. The question is who made it up. The question is who made up the Shem Shlish Revi that we have today in the Chumash. It's probably an unreliable source, but it's not reliable. It's not Torah Messina that you have to stop there. The Prakim, we know for sure is not good. It's nothing. Perek we know for sure is nothing. We don't use the Prakim at all. But I did see
there are
one
lots of halachas that are dependent on Shem Shlishi. You know, there's a certain halachas you can't leave so many psukim before.
Not for Shem Shlishi. By Elias, between a Samach and a Pei. Not for Shem Shlishi. You could stop one person before Shem if you want.
But don't you have to lay like 3 at a time at least?
Yeah, correct. There's nothing to do with our Shem Shlishis. There's nothing to do with our Shem Shlishis.
But our Shem Shlishis, like listen to those.
Of course, for sure. Yeah. Our Shem Shlishis go according to Allah. You can't stop before and the end of a Samach or a Pei. So I did once see brought down. So once I heard that if someone's mouth says every day that aliyah, right? Not the Sunday to mouth says Sunday and Mondays. According to this, it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. I did see once brought down a sefer, I think from the Shem the Stipler. Stipler said if someone's doing it according to the aliyahs in order to finish before Shabbos, it's fine. You can do it that way.
Do it anyway. The chitas, that's how it goes. It goes per day.
Yeah.
That's
if you do that every day, I mean,
the least that we have today, someone obviously made them up. A lot of Torah said that certain aliyahs, or certain aliyahs are longer, certain aliyahs are shorter. It was never made up by Yom Choshev. There's no question about it. But you're not meshuvah to them. We're not meshuvah to the aliyahs. So the question is, if that's the case, who said you could stop by aliyahs? I did once see brought down. I think it was from a disciple. They said you could stop by aliyahs or being now said you do it per day. Another question comes up.
When you have to finish, you can say that.
You have to finish before the Suda, Shabbos per day.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it says mitzvah min hamofchi. Yeah. If someone didn't, it has to finish by mincha. Before mincha Shabbos.
No.
Before they go by.
I heard before sunset.
No, before mincha.
Before mincha.
Before mincha.
It says before mincha.
Because mincha for the next week.
Yeah, mitzvah mufcha. The Shashma says kodesh Shabbos. V'mo hish kodesh achila. Yasam acha achila ad hamincha. What
comes after that?
That's it? No, yes, I mean, if you didn't do a mincha, you have till Wednesday.
Okay.
It doesn't say sunset. Sunset doesn't say. And if you didn't finish it till Wednesday, you have till Shmini Atzeres to catch up.
I always went to March. That's wrong.
No, mine was wrong.
Oh, wow.
Mine was this Mahin Nishtaheh.
Wow. Well, no, you have to wait until Wednesday.
Yes, so this is why you're rushing to mine. You can do it all Sunday. You're off Sunday. There's no reason.
That's better now. I still have 3 more days now.
We have to Shmini Atzeres now, so it's...
No,
you have to all the
the ideal time is before the Suda. If you don't do it before the Suda, try to do it before Mincha. Not before Mincha, then you have to Wednesday. If not, you do Toshmei Atzeres.
Sorry, you probably covered already, but the Targum has to be something you understand.
That was a question, right?
English is
right, that was a question. The Machlokes Rashi and Tosfos that we start off this year is the Targum understanding, explaining, or is the Targum because it was given me Sinai? Now, one more thing which comes up a lot, that sometimes you have a samach and a pei in the middle of a pasuk. In the Seres HaDibros you have it, and by Ruvain, you have sometimes a samach and a pei in the middle of a pasuk. What happens there? So if you're doing pasuk by pasuk, you don't have an issue. You do pasuk by pasuk, pasuk in the Targum. But if you're doing it tola samach and tola pei, what do? You start in the middle of a pasuk. So it's interesting. The Aruch HaShulchan says yes. If your Mama says you always tola samach and tola pei, then you stop by the samach and the pei, even if it's in the middle of a pasuk. I saw about that with Sharon Chaim, he said you shouldn't do that. You should never stop in the middle of a pasuk. So it means even if you usually do tola samach and a pei, when it comes time to samach and a pei in the middle of a pasuk, the pei you never have in the middle of a pasuk. It's only a samach. You never have a pei in the middle of a pasuk. So samach in the middle of a pasuk, he says you should finish the pasuk and then do the time.
Can I ask a question? Let's say you're doing it during laning. You're catching yourself. Are you allowed to stop?
Yes.
In the middle of a, you know what I'm saying? You do 2 seconds and you wait another 10 minutes to do the other way.
Right, that's the question.
And what's happening?
It's better not to. But the Mako, because they're trying to find it easier if people do Babas Hedra.
Whole section, or if you do 2 seconds and wait a half an hour.
I always say the best time to do Babas Hedra is Friday night.
Sometimes during laning.
After the Suda.
In the winter. In the winter, yeah.
No, it's always better Friday after. Why? Because Friday after Suda you see double.
Or after a few drinks.
So it's easy to do Stein Mikra. But it's interesting, he says over here, it's interesting, he's moving down, so if someone didn't do it, he should mask him early for davening to do it. He doesn't say stay up late Friday night to finish it off. He doesn't say that.
He knows it's not possible.
Yeah, it's interesting. So if it comes Shabbos, you didn't do it yet, so make sure before you go to Friday night, you finish Stein Mikra. And then get up and go straight to Shul. Doesn't say that. That's Yashkim.
So you come at that one can rely on the art school part?
Yeah, so the Muhammad says you could do either or. Either Targum, even though you don't understand it, or Pirush Rashi, which means help you understand it, or any laws. Any Targum laws, any other language also works for Rashi. But then you only like those sheetahs that hold, the Targum is an explanation. Because Yerushalayim should do both, Targum and Pirush Rashi. If you can't do both, then you could do either or. But either you do a Targum and you have to say every word, or you do an explanation that helps you understand the psukim and your language.
So what reward do you get for this? You weren't here at the beginning. The Baal Turim says, that's good stuff.
All that means forever in the bar, right?
I guess, yeah. I can't know this forever.